Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFIrmaCraft HardRock. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I was informed after last episode that we could make this a resistive heater and add that to the valve on our thermal evaporation chamber. And if we provide that with power, it should heat up this, or at least heat up the ambient temperature, depending on what it's called, and allow this to run. So let's give it a try. We have a coil. I can just do that. All right, so that's got temperature, and yep, it is now heating up the thermal evaporation chamber, which will convert the water into brine. And then once we convert the water into brine, we can pump the brine out and then back in and convert that into lithium. So this is awesome. There we go. We don't have to worry about upgrading this to the max size or even worrying about these advanced solar generators. This resistive heater is all we need, and the resistive heater is much cheaper. It's 4 tin, 1 energy tablet, and 1 steel casing. So there we go. Awesome. You know what? I don't know if I showed this or if I recorded it, but never showed it. If we grab that barrel, go down here, grab a barrel of water, we can put it right there, and it'll dump the water into the system. So we don't need to pump the water in or out. We can add barrels to fill it up if you want to. But yeah, so we can pump water in, and using the resistive heater, turn the water into brine, and then we can pump the brine out, and then turn the brine into lithium, which we then have to condensentrate, I think. Yeah, we have to then condensentrate it. Well, decondensentrate it, and then once we've decondensentrated it, we can, using a chemical crystallizer, turn it into lithium dust. So I need to make a few more things. Obviously, I need the isotropic centrifuge to pressurize reaction chamber. We're going to need a chemical crystallizer, and I'm going to need to make another rotary condensator. But then we can start making lithium dust, which means we can start making these induction cells, which are, as I mentioned, batteries. And then we can make the Mek Suit. So that might be the target goal. I don't know. I don't really have a set plan yet for today, aside from burn fuel and make stuff. We'll see what gets done. There we go. I can use a singularity tank better than I can use the barrel. All right, looks like we have everything here ready to go. We've got our rotary condensator. We have our chemical crystallizer. And then we have a pressurized reaction chamber and another isotropic centrifuge. So if we fly over here to where our reactors are. And first off, I've taken all the brine out, put it in this tank, and then sucked all the brine out of there, put it in here, and we now have a bit of liquid lithium. So we can set up the next part of that, where we take the rotary condensator and the crystallized chamber and turn the lithium liquid into lithium dust. So that's our next step there. If we go over here, we have our isotropic centrifuge and our pressurized reaction chamber. What we need to do now is we can take the nuclear waste from the reactor, and instead of pumping it into the solar neutron activator to turn it into polonium, we pump it instead into the centrifuge here. That'll turn it into plutonium, and then by pulling it into the reaction chamber, the same way we turn water and polonium into polonium pellets, we can turn the plutonium and fluorite dust into plutonium pellets, which we need in order to make all of these SPS casings. We're going to need quite a lot of plutonium pellets. We could also turn the plutonium pellets into reprocessed fissile fragments, which can then be turned into fissile fuel, which you then can use to run your reactor. Now, I'm not doing that because we need the plutonium for the casings. But if I find wherever it is again, here we go. We turn one pellet into, well, first off, one pellet takes 10 buckets of nuclear waste. So you turn 10 buckets into one pellet. You turn one pellet into 8 buckets of fuel. So you've got a 20% loss each time you go through. But this will allow you to recycle your fuel quite a bit if you have limited resources and you don't need to be making the SPS casings like we do. There's also something else with the SPS casing I'm going to need, but I don't remember what it's called at the moment. Well, it is on the mechanism, so let's check. Supercharged coil. We're going to need to make one of these, multiple of them actually. I think, oh, I'm gonna have to check the wiki again. I think it's 2 minimum, but you can have more depending on how big you build the SPS. We are going to be building the smallest SPS possible, which I think still requires us to make 70 of these or something like that. So now I have to start running cables. We're going to pull the fissile, the nuclear waste out of here. We're going to split it, so 50-50, and start processing it that way. I need to figure out where exactly we want to place this because we have our power here. And yeah, so I'm going to be rearranging a little bit to make this nice. Likewise, we're going to be rearranging this. But now we are ready to make lithium dust. I can probably do that right now. If I pull out my wrench. There we go. Provided power. And then we can output it into the crystallizer and start making our lithium dust. So we can start making our basic induction coils because we need to make the Mek Suit. And also, like I said, these work as batteries. We are absolutely going to need the Mek Suit. I was just going to be doing it on a whim because I've never made it before. But we need the Mek Suit to make the spacesuit for Beyond Earth. So I'm probably going to need to make 2 Mek Suits. And we're going to need the spacesuit if we want to do anything in outer space. I don't know if the Mek Suit does count as a spacesuit. I think the Mek Suits can be upgraded. But yes, we are going to at the very least have to make the spacesuit so we can do anything in space other than go up in a rocket, look around, and come back down. Could be cool, but not quite fun. So that's our next project. So who wants to guess what I just did? Aside from wiping out my goat population, my horse, and my donkey, and my villager. Apparently you cannot... I thought, wrongly apparently, that you could pick up the rotary condensator and it would maintain its inventory of nuclear product. That's apparently not the case. So we have another radioactive disaster. Yeah, when I picked this up, it dumped its polonium, which I didn't think it would do. And so now I have no more goats and no more horses, and my villager's dead, and I died. Well, got plenty of food. A little bit of horse meat, a little bit of goat meat. We'll eat fine for a little while, at least. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to oh, no jetpack. What I was trying to do was reorganize my reactor setup, or at least the fuel. I wanted the fuel to come out of the reactor and then split off between our... Wow. Millisieverts That's a whole sievert per hour. That's so. I was trying to. You know what? Let's do free cam. Let's go stand someplace where I'm not going to be glowing, and use the free cam to show you. Here we go. So it's going to pull out from here into a line of cables. Little stuttery. A line of cables so that we can have the neutron activator attached to one and the isotropic centrifuge connected to the other one. So it would pull out, and ideally it would split the fluid 50-50. And then from the centrifuge would go into its own rotary condensator, and then out of this would get its own rotary condensator. They would all have their own. They'd have a water line to provide to the pressurized reaction chamber. They'd have their own water line. They'd each empty out into that waste barrel to get rid of the exhausted waste. And then I'd just be able to add fluoride dust to whatever I need. And so it'd more properly automate it. But yeah, so I can't go over here for... Well, I don't know how long that's gonna take. When I had the minor incident, it took about 2 real-world hours to be safe over here. This is much higher than it was then. So yeah, it might be a few hours before I can actually work over here efficiently. Oh well. Well, give me time to work on a few stuff over here. So I'll just be running around in a hazmat suit for a little bit until we're ready to get to making everything else. You know, while I'm thinking about it, why don't I start doing the prep work for this? We need energy tablets, which are easy enough to make, and the basic energy cube, which is also fairly easy. Iron, steel casing, more energy tablets, redstone. And I guess I might as well get started on this. I've got to make a whole bunch more black steel. Assuming they didn't change the recipe, it doesn't look like it. We're going to need about 24 ingots of black steel in order to make the full black steel armor. So that's what we're going to be doing now. That totally wasn't what I was planning to do, but you know, so be it. So thankfully the radiation does die down pretty quick, but we are ready to make some of the Mek Suit. I'm going to need to make up a lot more of these infused alloys, since we're going to need, well, a lot of these. Each Mek Suit piece takes one of these induction coils, and each of them takes a total of 6 energy tablets. So these right here, yeah, I can only make 8, which is only enough to make one piece of the Mek Suit. But we can toss those in there to make the basic energy cube. And then I need 4, so I can make 2 energy cubes right now. And then I need to go grab some lithium. Pretty simple setup here. I can adjust where the what fluid is currently in the evaporation chamber pretty quickly. Pump the lithium into there, process it through the chemical crystallizer, and here we go, we got some lithium dust. We only need 4 at the moment, but we do, that's the wrong one, do this there. That is our induction cell. It holds 3.2. Oh, I can't. There's no interface to look at it. Okay. 3.2 G? G is billion, isn't it? Anyway, that's a ton of power. So we're going to use that as a buffer battery for our turbine, since the turbine holds much less than that. Yeah, the turbine only holds 800 million. This holds at least, well, 5 times that. So means we'll be able to turn the reactor on and just let it run. But this first one I'm going to use to make part of the Mek Suit. We have the we have the backpack from the andesite jetpack. So how about we make the first one the leggings? There we go. That gives us our mech leggings. I can swap those out. Oh, my legs appear to have disappeared. They appear to have disappeared. Is that because they have no power? Okay, how would I charge this? It should be able to charge it. Wait, do I have a charging station? Charge pad. Blackstone plate, bit of steel, and another energy tablet. Okay, this is pretty cheap. So we can make up one of these, and then we can charge our Mek Suit on that. I'll just run around with no legs for a little bit. And we just do the same thing here for the boots, the chest, and the helmet when we're ready. As I did say, it takes 24 black steel to make the full armor set. Same is true if we wanted to make the blue steel armor, the red steel armor, even the copper armor. It takes 24 ingots. Alright, so now I have to make up just a bunch more of these tablets. I'm going to need... I have one more of those, so I need 4, 8, 12, 13... No, dang it. I need 6, 12, 18, minus 4, so 14 more plus 1 for the charge pad. So I need 15 more of these tablets. That's a lot more stuff to process. Burning through a lot of graphite getting all this done, and I have just an absolute ton of redstone now because of it, or at least cinnabar. Oh yeah, I just remembered the Mek Suit can take upgrades. So here we get a dosimeter, so it'll show us our radiation while we're in the Mek Suit. There's a jetpack upgrade, which requires the jetpack. I imagine the dosimeter requires the dosimeter to make. Requires this one. Alright. But yeah, we got a bunch of different upgrades we can do. So getting the jetpack upgrade should definitely be a priority if we're going to be building the Mek Suit. Might as well get the jetpack done, because then we don't need to use the crate jetpack anymore. So I think we're having the same issue with the Mecha Suit that we have with the windmill. With the shaders on, I'm invisible. But I'm not turning off the shaders right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. What we are going to worry about instead is the fact that I had how this induction cell works completely wrong. I thought this worked like, I think it's Ender IO. You have like the Tesseract, you can put it down, it's a single block item. I literally thought I could just walk up to the reactor, put this down, and it would pump the energy in, and I could pump energy out. Nope, can't do that. Doesn't work. We need to build a multi-block for this. And so that's what all of these energy tablets are for. So let's grab a few of them and I can show you what we gotta do. So we need to make a bunch of these induction cases. This takes plastic, steel sheet, plastic, steel sheet, and then the energy tablet. So grab this, grab that, toss those in there. And, you know, it works the same way as making the iron casings, the steel casings. We just have to go back and forth like this to make the induction casing. And I've already prepped a whole bunch of them. So if we put one of these here, we can put the tablet in. And yeah, that's the induction casing. But these induction casing, sorry, the tablets don't stack. So we gotta literally do them one at a time. So, you know, fun. There we go. That gets us a few. I can put those back there for now. We also need to make some induction ports. We need 4 casings plus 1 elite control circuit, and that makes the induction port. We need 2 ports, 1 in, 1 out. Okay, that's that part done. We also need this, a induction provider. Pretty much you need this to allow it to transfer energy in and out, and this is lithium dust, basic circuits, and another energy cube. I wonder if the energy cube works the way I was thinking with the other stuff. So now I need to finish making a bunch of induction casings, and then we need to make some structural glass. I've got the glass here. I have steel ready. I have quartz ready. I have not yet made the lead, so I've got to go do that. And then once that's done, we can go about building ourselves a induction cell, the multi-block structure in here, and replace the accumulator that we are currently using. And that will hold the billion or so energy that we're gonna need. On second thought, I might want to build it underground closer to our reactor, because if we build the SPS, I'm going to want the SPS over by our reactor over here, and energy flow is one way for the most part. We don't want all the energy flowing over here and then have to run another kill back. If we just run it straight from the turbine to the induction cell, then we can run it off the induction cell to the SPS when we're ready. Yeah, that sounds like a better idea. Okay, when that's done, we'll be back. Okay, I think I have everything here. So we need to do a grid down here and stick a piece of structural glass there. And we'll come 3 up on all sides. Want to put structural glass back there, and we're doing structural glass just so I don't have to use more expensive stuff. Induction cell there. Induction provider there. Casing there. Put one port there. That there. That there. That there. And that is good. And that holds a lot. So then we can put one there and one there. And that should be our output. And that's going to be our input. And then if we go upstairs, we can do that to there. Let's break that for a moment. Do that to there. Then you do this to that there. Okay. So now we have our power reset up. Ow. I'm stuck. So, turbine runs. Power gets generated. Power goes into the induction cell, which holds an absolute ton of energy. And then from there, it will run out of the induction cell. And, oh, I need to run one more cable. There. And now that will send power down to our base. And because that now has so much capacity, I don't have to worry about this. I put a torch down by accident and the torch vanished. Anyway, so now we're producing 5,000. Yeah, 5,000 FE a tick. And it is running down and into there. And will still slowly charge up. This is actually gaining ever so slightly. Yeah, it's gaining slightly. Oh, whatever. But now we can just let it run pretty much indefinitely. Maybe come back to turn it off every now and then. My biggest problem now is going to be the accrual of waste and transforming that into polonium and plutonium. So now I have to reset up this system here. Okay, there we go. That's the induction cell. That is technically not infinite power, but it's going to do us more than... it's going to be more than good enough. Oh, I forgot to mention this. The induction matrix, that's what it's called, induction cell, has these slots here. You can charge your Mek Suit from the induction matrix. So there we go. Now we have a bit of power in our suit. Can we see it now? Nope. We're still only half a man. Okay, so I was having trouble getting power out, and I realized what my issue was. We need to go to energy and switch this to be red to output. And so now the energy is outputting out of our induction matrix and running to, well, everything else. Also, I did swap out create nodes and put in some advanced universal cables. The advanced universal cables can transfer 51,000 FE per tick, whereas these can transfer, the highest I've seen so far is about 5,000 FE per tick. So yeah, this is draining energy now, or well, it's only got about as much energy as, yeah, it's not backing up. It's all going into here, which is what I wanted. So this episode has kind of gotten away from me. It's taken me nearly 4 days to get this done. But let's make the last of this. We've got the mecha chest piece, the mecha helmet. I'm going to be keeping this helmet, the Traveler's Goggles, since I do have the gold upgrade to it, which means we can go into the nether and not have to worry about it. But if I put on the full mecha suit, we're invisible. How nice. Like I said, I'm sure this is... Oh, that's kind of cool. We got a location there at the bottom. I'm sure this is 100% because of the... How did I forget what it's called? Not the texture pack, not the resource pack. The shader. There we go. Let's just disable shaders for a moment. Yep, that's definitely it. Ooh. You know, it looks kind of cool until you see it, and I'm not sure about this thing. It's my first time ever making the Mek Suit. I do like the GPS in the bottom, and the display up in the top corner showing me the power. But yeah, this is why I like leaving shaders on. It gets far too dark, and I have realistic darkness turned off. Anyway, that's the mecha suit. That's the induction matrix. We should now be good power-wise, or at least power storage-wise, to get the SPS up. I'm going to be working on actually getting the SPS set up. I need to make a bunch of plutonium. I need to find out exactly how many of these SPS casings I need. And the port takes a couple casings. We can use either structural or reactor glass. I have to double check. I think it's structure for the SPS, but I think we need 77 casings, which means we're going to need 77 plutonium, which is a lot. And what else did we need? The supercharged coil. We do only need one, but we need to make this. That's not too bad. And this really isn't that bad either. We also do need to make the jetpack and the modular base. These are easy. That's easy. The upgrade, however, does require plutonium. Polonium. It's not too bad. So, I'm going to get to work on that for next episode. However, I don't know how much progress will be done. As I mentioned last episode, or as I mentioned on my vintage story episode, this whole weekend and into part of next week, I'll be dog sitting and house sitting for my sister while I become an uncle. So I don't know how much time I'm going to have to record, how much I'm going to get done recording. I will not have time to do a lot of prep work. So we'll see what happens with what happens. Until then, let's take the helmet off. Oh boy, my head looks huge. And now it looks tiny. I don't like that. Until next time, thank you for joining me today. Hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.